Alright, we are back. Gonna get started on the bulk of this engine teardown. As we left off last time, the intake manifold's obviously gone, as well as the carb. So we're gonna get started on the rocker arm covers. 6 bolts on each side, 6 there, 6 there. And what you want to do with these is unscrew them in a crisscross pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or even if you want to get real technical with it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then these rocker arm covers are just going to pop off. Pretty straightforward. The gasket that's in here, go ahead and throw them out. You don't really want to reuse those. I will show you why. This is the rear cylinder. As you can see, this thing is leaking very badly. It's been like that for a long time. Just never really had an excuse to tear this engine down this much until now. So obviously all these gaskets are going to get replaced. So yeah, this will be rocker arm covers will be quick. It takes a 7/16 socket, and then these heads of these also have a 3/16 hex key. So use what you can, get in there and get them out.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
There we go, that's the front rocker arm cover. I don't know if these bolts need to be in a certain way, but I try to keep them organized in the original positions just in case. These are really corroded, so I may end up just buying new ones of these just in case. But yeah, these look like they're in pretty good shape. Just a little dirty. So yeah. So let's get this gasket out of here. There's the gasket. Trash, obviously. And one thing I do like to do, this is something for me because I have a really bad memory. This lighting over here is terrible, I know. But what I like to do is I take something off, get some painter's tape, mark it. Like this is the front front cover, and the area is orientating to which direction the front of the bike is. So there's no mistake of where this goes. And even further, I might go get a piece of cardboard, put on their front rocker arm cover, and then all these bolts in there, so there's no confusion as to where they go when I put this thing back together. So just a little organization to help you out later when you're putting everything back together. Alright, there's the rear off. These 3 bolts are on the other side. I just couldn't get them out with them in. Same thing with this one. I'm going to tape. It'll say rear for the rear cylinder with an arrow showing towards the front of the bike. I'm going to clean these up. I may get these powder coated, I'm not sure. While this whole thing's apart, haven't decided. We'll see. Next thing we're doing is the rocker arm box breathers. Breather valves, breathers, whatever you want to call it. This is really straightforward. It's going to be quick. Basically, this little egg-shaped piece here is the breather cover. And all you do is take these 2 bolts out. You're going to pop this off. The breather baffle, and then the gasket comes out. And that's really about it. And you're going to do it on the front and the rear cylinder. And then same thing, I'm going to take these off, I'm gonna put them over on the table in the order they came off. This is some sort of organized manner. So here's the breather. This is the baffle right here. And then there's also a gasket that just broke. It's gonna get replaced anyway, so just throw it on the garage floor and forget about it apparently. So, yeah, like I've said, this is a 15, 16-year-old bike. It's an 05. I bought it in 2012. And it had very low miles on it. I think it had just at 8,000 miles when I bought it. And now it's got almost 40. So I don't know if this has ever been done, this has ever been tapped into. Judging by how this gasket is breaking apart, I'm gonna say it hasn't. But that's good. That means there should be no surprises in here. So that's the front one. I'm gonna go lay it over here with the front cover just to keep everything separated between front and rear. Again, I'm gonna leave the bolts in here. Put this back. And there we go. All right, the rear one's out. This one was a little bit harder just because the way the frame is. The frame slopes down right here onto the, I guess, the saddle. It's a little bit closer to the top of the rocker box than the other one, so I actually had to take the bolts out and just kind of wedge this thing out of there. Not too bad, just a little bit of finesse. Same thing with this one. This gasket's just crumbling. Yeah, this is all going to get replaced. Every gasket on my top end is going to get replaced while I'm doing this. So gaskets I'm not worried about breaking or tearing or anything like that. Even in the service manual it says to replace these gaskets whenever you take the stuff off anyway. So gaskets aren't expensive. I'm not worried about it. Like I said, I've never done this in depth, so I'm really trying to take my time. I have the 700-page Dyna service manual that I printed out. If you don't have one, I highly recommend buying one if you need to. It's worth it. But there are so many sources where you can get them for free. I just printed this one out, put it in like a 3-inch 3-ring binder, and I have used the hell out of that thing. So, great tool to have, especially for this next part, because it's a little bit more involved and I never even would have thought of how to do this. So, rocker arm support plate. It's the plate on top of the head, but below the rocker arm cover, obviously. For this one, you don't just take the bolts off and pop it off. I'm going to read to you verbatim from my lovely Dyna FXD manual. Okay, there's two options. One with the primary cover in place and one without. I'm not taking my primary off, fuck that, until I put my new clutch in. We'll get there. Okay, support the motorcycle on a stand with the rear wheel off the ground. Shift the transmission into 5th gear. Rotate the wheel in direction of normal rotation, so forward. Stop rotating the wheel when both intake and exhaust valves are closed. You should be able to wiggle both rocker arms with free play. You also need to take the spark plugs out, shine a light to make sure the cylinder is top dead center. Sounds pretty straightforward. And I have to do this with each cylinder. So, jack the bike up, 5th gear, rotate the wheel until the front cylinder, top dead center, wiggle the rocker arms, take them off, take that whole support plate off, then do the same for the rear cylinder. Alright, sounds too easy. Yeah, fuck it, we'll get there. Back wheel is off the ground. As you can see, spinning freely. Now is when I shift into fifth and start actually rotating the cylinder, the pistons and valves and push rods and all that crap. Top dead center is what we're looking for. I'm gonna pop these spark plugs out real quick, take a look at them. I already loosened them up. All right, let's find top dead center, cylinder number 1, front cylinder. So, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth gear. Okay, cylinder 1, top dead center, front cylinder. So now I'm going to pop these 4 bolts off of the rocker arms, pop the rocker arms off, and again, same with the other stuff, going to keep them in order with what cylinder they go to and orient them the correct way. And just like the rocker arm cover, crisscross pattern taking these apart, there's 4. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, if that makes sense. 1/2 inch socket for these. Okay, like I said, this is the front cylinder, and these are the 4 bolts they were talking about. And this should just pop off now. There we go. This is orientated like this. And I'll show you what I got going on over here on my tool table. Front. So this is the front cover area, arrow pointing towards the front of the bike. Baffle cover, now rocker arm support. And there is an O-ring on the bottom of this. Let's see if I can flip this over without fucking this up. There's an O-ring right there, and that needs to come out as well. If you get a top end kit, it will come with that new O-ring. So we're good on that one. Now we got to go in, same thing, get cylinder 2, the rear cylinder, top dead center, same exact thing as the front one. Too easy. Cylinder 2, top dead center. Let's get these off. Okay, the rear one is out. I gotta say, these are in really good condition. I mean, this bike being as old as it is and everything, this thing's in great shape. These things move freely. No cracks, no warping, no nothing. These are all in really great shape. Alright, on to the next one. There's this little O-ring right there. There you go. Now the next step in this is the push rods. Obviously, these are the push rods on this side as well. The service manual says, and I'm not too worried about this because I am replacing these push rods with some fueling thick wall push rods, but the manual does say when you remove them, annotate where they came out of and how they were oriented because of certain wear patterns on the push rods. They say if you have, say, the top and the bottom of the push rod flipped, the wear patterns that are already on the push rods will cause more significant wear and abnormal wear and cause issues. So makes sense to me. Again, not worried about it. I'm replacing these. So these are more or less just going to get pulled out. I will separate them just for my own benefit, I guess. So let's just go ahead and pull these out. Oop, those are soaked in oil. I feel like I should have known that. Alright, so that's going to be part 1 of probably 3 of this engine teardown. I'm trying to get a lot of information and a lot of the little tips and tricks to tearing an engine down, because it's not as simple as loosen bolts, take some shit off. So everything is out of the manual. That's why this is going to be a 3, maybe 4-part video. I'm not 100% sure yet. I haven't done all the editing, but everything's going to be real thorough and meticulous, by the book. Like I said, trying to get as much information out there as I can. So, thanks again for watching. Remember, leave me some comments. Let me know what you guys think. I'm always looking for feedback. Like I said, this is my first time doing any sort of video editing or any sort of documentation of any kind regarding basically anything. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Spread the word if you can. I'm trying to get this channel built up a little bit. So, hell yeah.